I admit I'm not a big TV watcher. But I tell you what, when the weather gets icy and snowy outside and I have the option to run out there or get on my bike trainer and watch a really good TV program, I'm probably going to choose to ride my bike trainer. And that's exactly what I did last week. And for entertainment, while I spun away on my bike, I was watching the PBS Masterpiece program, Poldark, or as they say, Poldark. And the funniest thing happened at the end of the first episode of season 2. At least I thought it was funny. The editors made this brilliant decision to post the words at the end of the show, "To be continued." And I thought, of course it's going to be continued. This is TV in 2017. It's not 1990. We all know that the story is going to pick up where it left off at the last episode. This is just how TV is these days. We don't solve everything in one episode like we used to. And then I thought, this is a lot like past lives and the continuation of the journey of the soul as episodic from life to life. And wouldn't it be really funny if at the end of the life we're living upon our deathbed, we could just whisper to prove this to those around us that may need to know, to be continued. But of course that's ridiculous and it's absolutely not going to happen. At least not for very many of us. So then I started thinking more about the proof part, because I think it's time that we start talking about this as factual and not just fairy tale or wishful thinking. Reincarnation is real. The work that we do as regression therapists is real and it is helpful. So what do I have to offer you as proof of reincarnation? I thought of 4 things. The first is spontaneous past life memories. Spontaneous. They just come up. We just know stuff. And yes, this happens for adults. Some of us. But it happens quite frequently, actually, in children. And if you use the webs, you can Google away, and you will see lots and lots and lots of stories about children who recall facts and data and names and places from their past lives. And in fact, this has been the subject of research by Professor Ian Stevenson, who has passed away actually in the last couple years. But he spent decades at the University of Virginia Medical School looking into these cases and proving all those that he could. And there were lots and lots of them. And his work now is being continued by Dr. Jim Tucker. And I encourage you to please look into the work of either of these men. It's fascinating and groundbreaking. The second point that I'm going to bring up is that oftentimes those who experience past life regression through hypnosis will recall names and dates and places and events that can later be fact-checked and proven. And this is without any prior knowledge at all of these things, having oftentimes never even known that these things happened. Also something to consider. The third thing is the absolute incredible detail that those who go through past life regression can recount the story of a life from birth to death with all the intertwining themes and plot points and twists and turns, with plot thickening and intrigue. I mean, it is incredibly hard to make up a story off the cuff without having thought about it beforehand. And as a writer, it's incredible to me to watch these people there on my couch recall these amazing stories without, again, having any prior knowledge of anything about them. And the final thing is the deep, intense healing that results from regression therapy. When people come to me and those who do the work that I do and follow the emotion that is at the root of that which is challenging them and come to resolve all of that challenge in the process of coming to understand why it happened and who the players were, and coming to the point of forgiveness and letting go, and then finding complete freedom and healing in waking state, that is incredible. And I have to believe that there's something to it. So those are the 4 things that I have to offer. So I don't think that any of us are going to be whispering to be continued at the end of our life. But I do think that maybe it's time that we don't have